Hello, my name is Ian, and today I'm gonna talk about a little about Last of Us Part II. I'm gonna talk about the story a little bit, like the context and all, but I like to tell my vision of the series, the specifically this game because in the internet there's a there's an argue of the people who play the game because some of them just hate the end and doesn't like some characters and others just love this. I'm one of the ones who love the game and the fine and the end, and I'm gonna talk about why I think this game is simply incredible. So, in the game, there are two main characters, like the two protagonists of the story. You play with Ellie in the first half of the game, like a little bit, and Abby in the second half. Abby wasn't in the original game, the part one, but Ellie was. She wasn't the protagonist also. Joel was the protagonist. Let me see Joel. Wait. Here, Joel was the protagonist, and Ellie was following him the whole game. There's a part where you play with her, but it's not that significant. And wow, it's such a great part. But she's there, and she's very important for the story because wait. So in the world of the game, there's a virus that can turn you into a kind of zombie. It's not a zombie. It's more like a mutant, and you lose your mind. You just not yourself anymore, and you follow people that aren't uh, contaminated with the cordyceps virus. You just turn into zombies, basically. And there are the Fireflies, which is a organization that wants to cure the the virus, invent a vaccine, but they can't. They simply can't do this unless they have a person that is immune. And occasionally, Ellie, the protagonist of the second game and the one of the main characters in the first, she is immune. She is like the only immune people we all seen in the entire two games. There are no other immune people in the world apparently because they couldn't find anyone except Ellie. But there's the first game is simply fantastic because Joel was he lost his daughter when the virus came in 2003, and then 20 years passed, and then the game starts really. You're playing with him in the middle of the post apocalypse scenario and stuff, and he completely lost his sense of humanity. He just can't trust people anymore. He doesn't smile anymore. He just survives. It's a sad life he lives, but he continues because there's nothing more he can do. So when he met Ellie, so when he met Ellie in the first game, and they like he was paid to get her to the fireflies to make the vaccine because she's immune and all of that. But they would have to travel the whole USA, like the east part, all the way to the west side. It's a long way, days and days and weeks, walking and walking because there are like very little no, but there are not very much cars, very many cars, and it's better to walk. than to try to find a car that is working 20 years uh, after the apocalypse, basically. And then they they start to build a relationship. It's like a father and daughter relationship. That you can see that they love each other in the end of the game. It's very beautiful. But then they say that if they want to make a cure, they'll have to kill Ellie because they'll have to desiccate her to try to find a way to make the cure. They have to like cut her and see her inside to see why she's immune, why does she is special. And Joel simply can't stand this because he'll lose other daughter. He can't stand this, and then he can't accept. But it's not her his responsibility. It's Firefly's responsibility. Now that he he took her to them, and then he managed to take her out, but he kills all the Fireflies, all the medics, all the guards, all of them. Almost every Firefly was exterminated in that day because he couldn't stand the idea of losing Ellie. She's the most special thing in his life. And then you can like this is the end of the game. He's taking her out of the hospital, out of the surgery room. He can do this, but at what cost? At the cost of humanity. He made it to save one person that could save like billions of people. It's not a good thing. But when you are Joel, because in the game you control Joel, and you simply understand him. It's bizarre, but you can see his side of the story, but it's not great. It's not right, but you can see why he did this. And now the second game starts like 4 or 3 years after the first. Ellie is already 18 or 19, 17, something like this. It's not really average, but they don't talk about the exact age in the game. And then the game starts. She had a fight with Joel because it's a I can't even describe how bad was the motive. It doesn't even make sense because she let me think. So Ellie was in a kind of, I forgot the word, but she was dancing with Gina, which is other character that was presented in the second game. She was dancing, just dancing with her, and nothing special about this. But then a man of the city, because they live in a city defended like with big walls, and there's no risk of infected people came in the city. They are all protected, and they are having this kind of São João festival. I don't know what this is actually, but it's kind of a festival, and they're dancing. And then a man came, and tell them that she's not allowed to dance with Gina because the two of them are women, and this is not acceptable, And Joel enters the discussion because he doesn't agree with the man. He thinks that Ellie and Gina can dance. it's a natural thing. It's like not a big deal, like the guy was saying. And then Ellie gets very angry with Joe because he he is not supposed to enter her life that way because she can handle this alone. But he just wanted to help, you know. I didn't know the. I didn't understand actually. But then after this, they have a talk and uh, talk about themselves, their feelings. And at this point, I forgot to tell something. Ellie doesn't know Joel took her out of the surgery room and the hospital. Joel told her that they cannot do a vaccine with her. She was not like what they expected and it wouldn't work. It's not what it really happened, but that's what he told Ellie to make her, like, to not say that he killed all the fireflies to save her. But like 2 years later, she found out that what he actually did, what he really did. She was very angry with him because he didn't have the right to do that. She's right, but they their relationship gets a little uh, complicated after that because it's a very big deal. Like, whoa. So now I'm gonna talk about Abby, which she's a character that only appeared in the second game, and she's uh, daughter of the man who was in charge of Ellie's surgery. The only surgeon that could do the operation was her father, and Joel killed him to save Ellie. So she knew that Joel did that, but Joel is a very difficult guy to find. It's very difficult to get to him, and she spent years planning her vengeance because oh my god, he killed my father, he killed all my people. She was a firefly too, so he killed all of a great part of her community, her friends, her parents, her everything. It's understandable her feeling of vengeance. And then in the first minutes of the game, the first hour, she manages to find Joel and Tommy, which is his brother. So this is Tommy. He's Joel's brother. The two of them were in a patrol to see the arounds of the city they lived, to see if there were any infected, anyone that needed help. But they do this every time, like different people. There's a rotation of people that do this. Very simple, very simple. And then when they were in a patrol, Abby comes out like, "Oh my god, I need help! I need help!" And Joel and Tommy are good people after all. Like, in the heart, Joel, if it was like Joel in the first game, like in the beginning of the first game, he wouldn't help Abby in any world. Like, it was impossible to him. But now he's a little more fragilized, if we can say this. He helped her with Tommy, and they managed to get to a house. But it was all a trap. What the WLF, which is a, like, there is a government and there is the revolutionary groups where that, like, doesn't agree with the actual government, but they're equals. Like, they're they're very similar, but they think they're different. It's just like the real world, actually, and sometimes. But it was a trap to kill Joel, and they can. Ellie was supposed to get to Joel's location a little before this, but she was like playing around. She was with Dina and Jesse, which is other character, and they were like joking and playing in other location, and she because nobody thought this would happen. You can't really blame Ellie for this because it's it never happened, like never happened in years and years. It didn't happen. So why would she think this would happen in this specific time? Like you can't really blame her. It was her fault because she was supposed to be there, but you know it's not something that you can expect to happen like this. And then she came and she still managed to kill one of them, but there's a group of 6 or 7. She can't do. She simply can't just manage to get rid of all of them. It's impossible. And Abby kills Joe with the golf bat, and this is it. She make Ellie pass out, and they just go away with this. And Ellie gets very very angry. Like in the other day, she just find out who they are and starts to plan not. She just goes out and take her horse and go to Seattle, which is in the other part of the USA, to kill Abby, because this is her plan. She killed Joe, so I will kill her. That's her thought. And okay, the game starts like this, but when she is going to Abby's location, Tommy, which is Joel's brother, that also was in the room where he was killed, already gone. He's like one day ahead of her, and then Ellie and Gina go together to Abby's location. In the way, this game is fantastic. So they have to go to the right ways, the right paths to find Abby, because they don't have a GPS to her location or something. This doesn't even exist in the future. And they have informations. They have to find WLF, Washington's Liberation Front members, and they have to make their way to make them talk where Abby is, where they know who knows where Abby is. And the first of them was Leah, but she was already dead. Someone killed her, probably Tommy. When Ellie gets to her, she's already dead. We don't know actually what happened to her because the game never tells us this. And then the second one is Nora. She is in a hospital, and Ellie goes to her location to make her talk, and Ellie is not a bad person. Like, she's not violent. She doesn't do this very much, but in this case she has to do this. And to make Nora talk, Nora is very loyal to the WLF, so she won't talk that easily. Ellie has to torture her, and you can see that after she comes back to the safe place they found in Seattle, she's devastated because tortured the person. It changed her. It's not something like, it's simple, happens every time. No, it was pretty heavy for her to handle this. But she thought it was what she needed to do to get her vengeance, because she would feel good after having her vengeance, right? That was her, what she was thinking. And then she continues. So Nora told Ellie that Abby was in the aquarium, and then she goes to the location. She barely made to the location because it was a heavy storm outside, and she just goes to the aquarium like in a boat, in a very small boat, and the boat just breaks down in the middle of the sea, and she continues swimming like her life depends on it. And she's with a bloodlust and consumed with angriness and wrath. She just goes to the location, made it to enter the location because it was locked. She finds out a way, break glasses, what it had to be done. But Abby wasn't there. She already left. When Ellie arrives, Abby already left. But there were two friends of Abby in the way. Mel, which is the female, and Owen, which is the man. And they are a couple. Ellie doesn't know this, but they're a couple. And Ellie shows a map of Seattle and starts screaming, "Where is Abby? Where is Abby? Tell me!" And she has a gun. But Owen and Mel are trained people. They're not just simple and fragile people. The problem is that they try to take the gun out of Ellie's hand, and she shoots Owen in the head. Mel gets really frightened with this and try to take her too, well, like in a fair way. She just doesn't know what to do. Owen, her husband, is dead, and oh my god, and she gets killed too. And then when Ellie tries to search for information in their clothes, their pockets, and all that stuff, she finds out that Mel was pregnant, and she can't do this anymore. She just loses. She breaks down and starts to cry, down to her knees, and start to cry, because what is she doing? Is it really worthy to do this? Is it really worthy the vengeance? And then she doesn't find out where Abby is. They don't tell her. And Tommy and Jesse, because Jesse went to look for them. Tommy and Jesse arrive in the aquarium, see her in that horrible state, and try to calm down her. It's a very touching scene. It's like it's incredible. It's a feeling that it's even difficult to describe when you're playing. And Ellie just goes to her location again. They were hiding in a theater, and they continue the vengeance. She sleeps a little, think a little, talk with Dina, and she she really wants to end this. She wants to kill Abby, still, even though she wants to kill Abby. So in the theater there are Ellie, Gina, Jesse, and Tommy, and they are planning. They are making plans of what to do. I didn't. I think I didn't show the picture, but this man is Jesse. And when they are in the theater planning, Tommy goes to the other part of the, like the front part, the hall of the theater, to see something. Jesse told him, and then Abby comes out. She comes into the theater. She breaks in and surrender Tommy. Ellie and Jesse hear this. Dina is not fighting. She's not in the main, the real main game where you play, because she is pregnant and she can't really do anything very important because she's pregnant. I think I don't have to explain this. But then Jesse and Ellie almost break the door, like slam the door to open, and Abby manages to just shot, and she shot Jesse in the head. He died the exact same moment, and Ellie simply doesn't have a chance. If she shows her head, she will be killed, and then she just have to surrender. But somehow she manages to escape still, because Tommy took a gun and tried. He couldn't do anything, but he tried to shoot Abby. She was surrendering him, but he tried to, and he got shot in the head too. But he didn't die. He just, the bullet passes his brain. He can't walk very much because of this, because like it gave some damage to his motor functions, and he it's very difficult to him to do simple things now. But he's not dead. I think this is a win. But and then Abby and Ellie enter a fight, a literal fight to death, because they're not using guns. They're just in the fists and knives. But Abby is really strong. Like, she's big muscles, and Ellie not. But Ellie has a knife and Abby not, so it's kind of a fair fight, but that's not a fair fight. And Abby wins. She just gets Ellie to the ground and starts to slam her head against the ground. And then Dina appears to try to do something to save Ellie, but she can't do a thing. She's weak. She can't do a thing, and Abby is almost killing Dina, and Ellie just starts to beg for her to stop because she's pregnant. Dina is very important to Ellie. She can't die, and Abby listens. She doesn't kill Dina, even though Ellie killed her friend, a lot of her friends, most of them actually. There was another friend of her that Tommy killed, and Abby managed to get away, but she lost like 5 of her best friends in the story. She knows Abby killed them, but she doesn't kill Ellie. Abby doesn't kill Ellie and won't kill Ellie because she understood that the vengeance is not worthy as she thought. She didn't feel happy or satisfied when she killed Joel because it's not a good thing. It's something that you might think that makes sense, right? Oh, he kills someone I love, then I'll kill him. But it's not like this. It won't erase the past. You won't feel better if you do this. She understood this. Abby understood this. She could go on with her life. But Ellie not. She was blind with vengeance. But at this time, she stopped. Ellie stopped. Dina stopped. Everyone stopped, and they 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 didn't want to think about Abby anymore. Abby goes to California and tries to, because they say to her that there are fireflies in California, and tries to go to the location to see if that's true. And then the game passes 2 years in the future. Uh, so they are 2 years in the future, and Dina already gave birth. I forgot to mention, but Jesse was the father. But he died, and Ellie and Dina are living together and creating the baby boy. And they're happy. They're living a good life. But then Tommy appears out of nowhere, saying that he knows where Abby is. And then it gives a click on Ellie's head, like a trauma that she has, and she thinks that she has to go there. She has to end this. She she didn't go on. She couldn't go on like Abby. This is haunting her every day. And then she goes. She goes. She abandons her happy life, where she had everything she ever wanted, to get back to the revenge she wants. In the path to California and to where Abby is, Ellie confronts very difficult enemies, very strong enemies, and she is really almost dead when she got to the exact location. And Abby is also as bad as her, or even worse, because she was arrested. They got her to a jail. She tries to escape, and they like almost crucificate her. It's a cruel thing. Like, oh my god, what is this? And they just leave her there in a beach, and without water, without food, leave the people to die in this way. This is wow. But Abby get Ellie get Abby out. She cut the ropes and all. And Abby has a friend called Lev, which is like a native, but it's not really a native. But is a very important person to Abby. She met him in the second game, and they become really friends. Lev go to California with her. Lev was there when she enters the theater and there was a fight between Ellie and Abby, but he didn't do like very much. He was almost just watching. But it's a very important person to Abby. Very important. It's like all that matters to her now. Ellie knows this, and when the two of them were in a beach, they all of they had to do was get the two in different boats and go away because the two of them weren't good. They were really pretty like in a critical state. But Ellie just say that she wants to end this, and Abby say a lot of times, I won't fight you, I won't fight you, and Ellie continues to want to fight to death again, and Abby doesn't want this, and then Ellie just threatened Lev because he was passed out and couldn't defend himself. So she puts a knife in the throat and say if Abby won't fight her, she will kill Lev. And with this, Abby see that she needs to do this, and they have a pretty bad fight. Like the two of them are weak and like they're not good. They're totally devastated mentally and physically. They're not in a state to fight. They're in a state to sleep, like lay down and sleep where they were. I don't even know how they got energy to fight. But it's a ugly fight. It's whoa, it's you feel the weight of the punches. You feel the pressure when you're playing. And then they're 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 degrading themselves at each moment. They cut. Ellie has a knife, so she cuts Abby all of her body. They bite themselves. Ellie loses two fingers of the right hand because when there's a moment where she tries to drown Abby, and Abby manages to bite two fingers and bite them out like crunch them and split it out. And they start to do this, and there's a moment where Ellie would win. She would have killed Abby in that moment. She would have drowned her, killed her in any way. But then she remembers she there's a this is the moment to her where she understands what she's doing. She understands that it's not about the vengeance. It will not bring happiness to her. It will not make her satisfied. It won't make her nightmares go away. It won't change her life in a good way. Because all of the vengeance bring to her was pain. She lost Jesse. Almost lost Tommy. She almost lost Dina because Dina was left in the house, and Ellie went to find Abby again in California. She loses all. She loses all. What is this about really? To make life better? To make her feel better? She will feel better when she is alone? When she has no friends because of the vengeance? When she has no family? When all of what she thinks is the vengeance, this is what she wants? This is what will bring peace to her soul? And then she she understands that this isn't the answer. This is not the right answer. And she lets Abby go. She just let her go. And a lot of people say that, oh my god, she spent all of the game in the vengeance and she didn't complete it. That the game sucks. Like, oh my god, this game is a worst game and the worst end, but it's not. She she understood. She has a character development, a great character development. Like, she grows as a person. She understands what she. It's not a game about vengeance. It's a game about forgiveness. It's a game about moving on, forgetting the past, and to tell that what is important is what you have, not what you had. You have to live the moments with people you love when they are here. You can't just waste your life in a endless saga of vengeance, endless saga of looking for something when what you have, what you want, is already here. It's already with you. You just can't see it. Like, this is incredible. This is beautiful, a beautiful message. It's not a like it's not a I can't see why people tell this is a bad ending. This is a bad game. It's gorgeous. It's something you don't see in in movies, in games, in stories. You don't see endings like this, stories like this. It's unique. It's beautiful. It's genius. It's simply incredible, amazing. And I love this game. It's one of easily one of the best games I've ever played, and the the story, the gameplay, it's touching. You cry when you're playing. It's undescribable. I just wanted to pass this message, the pass try to pass the feeling of the game in this video. And I don't know if you watched the entire video, but if you're watching, thank you.